that was kind of a pain, but I got it in here. Didn't have to call anybody for help. It worked out. So the passenger side over here still has a little bit of work to be done. There still needs to be a little bit cut out, and then it needs to be media blasted, get some weld through primer on it, and then we can go ahead and start putting it together. I've only just got started on the driver's side. Also, while working on the driver's side, we realized got this hole right here. So I am going to need to patch that up as well. My buddy found where I can get it, and it's not going to be too bad, so I'm going to add that to it. I already have the rockers. I already have the cab corners. I'm just going to need to get the driver's side floor pan. Right now, I'm going to get to working on this driver's side, try to get it matched where the passenger side is, and then go ahead and clean it up and finish it up. Same thing with the passenger side. I don't know if I'll get to blasting it today. We're supposed to have some storms, really bad wind, possible tornadoes, and rain and some hail. So I don't know exactly how hard we're going to get hit. We all know that that's up and down. I'm going to focus on at least getting the driver's side ready. That way tomorrow when it's nicer or whatnot, we can go ahead and start blasting. I do need to run to Lowe's to get some drill bits. Probably gonna get another small cutter for the air cutter as well. But before I do that, I think I'm gonna finish cutting this cab corner off and cutting the pieces, the inner rocker along the bottom there to get all that cleaned up. Okay, so I've got this cut out as best as I need to right now. I'm gonna have Alan help me when he has a minute to be able to line things up. I do need to clean that stuff off. I need to weld some stuff there. I'm gonna get Alan's opinion on the inner rocker, but I'm pretty sure he said just to run it. I'm gonna move everything over here on the passenger side, and I'm gonna get this cut off. I still need to go get a drill bit. I do have a spot weld bit as well, but I need to get a punch or a drill bit to help with those. But I'm gonna get this stuff cut off. I might wire wheel it as opposed to media blasting it, just so I don't blast any of the metal away and then have to worry about that. I don't know. I'll consider it and take a look at it. But first, let me go ahead and get this cut off and we'll worry about that in a bit. I've got both sides looking about the same. A few weeks ago, Alan had come in and told me approximately where to cut, so I didn't cut too much, but I was close. That way we can do the final trim up before we're ready to fit everything. So I got this side close. I actually got everything knocked off the bottom, except for this part right in here where it's kind of eaten up. This is real solid. Took me beating on it with the spot weld cutter pretty well. It didn't get bent out of shape or anything, and I've got that all trimmed up ready along. I just need to clean it up so it can be spot welded to again. And of course, got to get some primer on it. I need to clean this mess up here, but I've got this side the same. I did cut this piece out here. It was some pretty good metal, I guess. I probably shouldn't have cut it out, but I've got this straightened out. This bent a little bit when knocking it off with the spot welds. This part did bend quite a bit on this side. I can understand that because there's this rust spot here. We did look at that rust spot too, and it's not where the cab connects to the frame, so we're fine there. We should just be able to cut the floor pan out, cut that area out, pop in the new floor pan, weld it up, prime it, do all that good stuff, and be ready to roll. What I need to do is I need to either decide if I want to media blast that or use a wire wheel on it. If I use a wire wheel on it, I can do it in here. I don't have to worry about the weather being okay, and I don't have to worry about spending money on the media. And I can smooth all that out and hit it with some weld through primer, and then do some weld through primer at the bottom as well. But if it's rusty, I'm not necessarily going to weld to it, so I may just put some rust inhibitor on it and roll with it. Of course, I do need to make sure that this part has weld through primer, but for the rest, I can just use some rust inhibitor on that. I am going to need to find a bed, so I'm keeping my eye out for one of those. Personally, I'd prefer a step-side bed if it's possible, but we'll see what pops up. And at this point in time, I don't care so much even about getting paint on it. I just want to get it driving, but I want to get all the rust and stuff fixed first. So we may get the cab corners on it, get the body work pretty much done on it, get it in primer in those parts, leave the rest the way it is, and start throwing a motor in it. Let me know down below. Really, I'd like to be running this. I don't know if I can run it by the end of the year, but I also know that money that goes to paint and all of that stuff could be used on a motor as well. We'll see. Just gonna keep plugging away.
The next day.
All right, so I edited the first edition of this video of me just cutting off the rockers and the cab corners or the rest of them, and it just wasn't long enough. I wanted to wait a few days and get a few more things in, make this video a little bit longer, and give you guys longer content and better content. So we got some 60 grit sanding discs in. I only got a small amount of the POR 15. We're gonna go ahead and cover these inner rockers with it. And I might do some of the rear frame with what we've got. I got the satin finish. If we need to get more, I will. Right now, because I hadn't media blasted everything and I really just kind of needed it in a pinch, I just grabbed a small amount. I would have got, this is like the pint, I would have got the quart size, but they were out of them at the CarQuest down the street. The quart, I think, would have got a majority of the whole frame. This just came in. This is some 3M panel bond. So talking with my buddy Alan, who does auto body, he said instead of spot welding this, we can just panel bond them on and everything will be perfectly fine. We are going to weld where the cab corner pieces and the rockers kind of meet up in this area. There are going to be some spots that we do spot weld and that we do weld together, but for at least these parts and saving a lot of body work, because then I don't have to go along this whole edge of the rocker doing all the body work on it and filling it with filler and then sanding it down and doing all that stuff to make it look right. I don't have to worry about that. All we do is just panel bond it on and it'll be fine. So we went ahead and got that 3M panel bond that just arrived. So now that we got those, what I'd like to do is that POR 15 says that you don't have to remove the rust, but I am going to remove the rust and then put a little acetone on it. I wouldn't say wipe it down, because if you wipe it down, it's in that bad a shape, it's gonna leave stuff from the towels all over it and wiping it down all over it. Then I'll get a brush, we'll paint some of that POR 15, and then we might go ahead and try it here. Again, it says you do not have to remove the rust. I would like to blast this, but maybe I don't have to. I don't know. Comment down below if you've used this POR 15 and if you've used it over regular rust like this, or if I should sandblast it. It says on there, clean it. It says the rust does not have to be removed first. So if that's the case, maybe just give her another good wash and degrease and then do the whole rest of it. Before we fix the rockers and the cab corners, I want to make sure that that right there gets covered so it does not get worse on each side. Alan's going to come over, I believe, tomorrow. We're going to get the rockers and the cab corners on. Once that's done, we'll have a video out for you guys. So in this video, the cab corners and rockers should hopefully be on. They may not have all the filler on them and all that stuff, because there are still going to need to be some spots for filler, but they should be on the truck by the time the end of this video ends. So let's get going. I don't know if you guys can hear it through this microphone, but it is raining like mad outside. But I'm in here, nice, chill, having a good time, getting stuff done. As you saw, I knocked all the rust off. I also cleaned this top edge, because that top edge is where we're gonna panel bond the rocker onto. and then there's gonna be some panel bond over there. So I'm gonna actually tape that part off. Now what you just saw me do was clean it off with some acetone. I just poured some over it real quick. I'm gonna let that dry. We're gonna get set up on the other side, do the same thing, knock off all of the rust on it, clean up that top lip for panel bonding. I also need to talk with Alan because I believe right here on the inside lip of this rocker, I'm gonna have to clean off as well and get all of the paint off. That way when we put the panel bond on, it's metal to metal. So I need to ask Alan about that. If so, I'm gonna go ahead and get that done before he comes in, because the more stuff that I have prepped and ready when he comes in, the more we're gonna be able to get done. And I know once these are panel bonded on, I'm really not gonna be able to mess with it for a day or so, but I wanna have everything ready so it takes less time out of his schedule to do it. I'm glad we got the DeWalt air compressor. I'll tell you what, when we were working on Austin's Dodge before, the Volant, we were having problems with sanding and stuff because the compressor took so much time to build up. Now, I don't have the biggest shop compressor now, but that other compressor we were using went down. And I have my big sandblasting compressor, but that's 100 CFM gas pull behind, so I don't really need that for the shop. So I did get a DeWalt, and it is really helping things out, so it's gonna help the workflow on this. Enough blabbing, let's get set up on the driver's side. Let's get all of the rust knocked off, get it cleaned off, get everything taped up, and then I'm gonna go ahead and put some of this POR 15 on it. That way it can start drying. It says it takes 2 to 6 hours. We're not gonna be working on it for probably another 12 hours or so. Actually a little bit more than that, maybe like 15, 18 hours. That'll work perfect. Let's get it done. Just when you think the rain can't get any worse, it does. Wow. Anyway, if you saw, we've got both sides prepped. I did get the other side taped, got acetone on it, everything's dried off. Now we're gonna go ahead, get the POR 15 laid down, let it dry until tomorrow, and then come back here and get things going. I'm probably gonna clean up the inside part of the rockers so it is metal on metal when we bond those two together with the 3M panel bond. So I'll probably do that after I get this painted, and then we'll wait until tomorrow and kind of get everything put together. There's still gonna have to be some cutting and trimming, but not anything with the bottom. It's all gonna be up on these side parts. So we'll get that all done tomorrow. But right now, let's get this POR 15 laid down. And I might test some on the back just to see how it does without like grinding any of it off. We'll see how it works. Okay, so I got the POR 15 laid down on the inner rockers. I also did the front part of the frame, except for a section over there that had power steering fluid on it. I gotta clean that off, so after it dries, I'll clean that whole area really good with acetone, get the power steering fluid off of it, and then go ahead and redo it. I also did the outer part of the frame here, started on the inner part. I still have some of the POR 15 left, but I didn't know if we were going to need any after we put the rockers on, so I didn't want to use it all just yet. But for a little pint, it's definitely done a lot more than I thought it would. Got the frame looking pretty good, at least better than what it did before. I also got the bottom there, went ahead and untaped everything. I am going to let this dry. We'll catch you back here tomorrow when we're putting rockers and cab corners on.
The next day.
So it's the next day, and I've got the welder set up. There are a few spots that I want to weld up. Most of them are on the driver's side. There are a couple on the passenger side. When I was knocking out the spot welds, it tore up some of the flooring a little bit. Kind of hard to see, but like right in here, there's a little crack. And basically, I don't want any moisture coming up from the bottom and getting in there because we are using this 3M 8115 panel bond. It is kind of hard to see, it's right in this area, but I don't want any moisture coming up from the bottom. I am using this 3M 8115 panel bond, but it's not a seam sealer, and I don't want to have to crawl up underneath, clean everything off, and get seam sealer on there. So I figured I would go ahead and just weld up those spots. There's 2 or 3 on the driver's side, and there's 1 or 2 on the passenger side. I'm just going to stitch those up real quick, sand them down. I need to clean off the primer from the inside of the rockers. That way those are able to be panel bonded down to there. So I'm going to go ahead and focus on getting that stuff done, and then we should be ready for Alan to get here whenever he gets here. I believe it'll be today. It might be next Sunday. If it is next Sunday, I'll probably put this video out beforehand, but I believe it's today. When he comes, we'll just have to do some final trimming, fit everything into place, then panel bond it, and then I'll come back tomorrow, start welding on it on any of the spots that we need to weld, and go ahead and start getting body filler and doing all that good stuff. After we get the rockers on and the cab corners on, before I do all the body work on it, I'm gonna go ahead and post the video so they'll at least be on and we'll get a final kind of look at it. That's the game plan right now. I don't want to do too much time lapse, but I'm gonna show you all what's going on. I'm gonna get these stitched up. We'll get on to the next step.
A few moments later.
So I am not gonna be welding right now. I guess my air grinder decided to bite the dust. So I'm gonna have to head over to Harbor Freight because Lowe's doesn't have any in stock. That's about a 30-minute drive one way over into another state, but I'm right by the state line. So I'm gonna take the trip over to Harbor Freight, get the air grinder. I don't wanna hold anything up. I'm gonna need it for some other things anyways. So if I don't have it, then it's gonna be tough for us to go ahead and put these other pieces on. We could probably manage, but it just would be a lot better to have it. So I might as well go ahead and get it. That way, when Alan comes by, we're ready to go. So let's make that trip on over to Harbor Freight.
2 hours later.
So I hopped on over to Harbor Freight, went ahead, picked up another angle grinder, as well as a couple of filters and a few more small things that I needed. Finally ready to get back on this. The bridge I take over there is under construction, so I had to take a whole different route, which took a little bit longer, but hey, things like that happen. No complaining here. Let's get to work on this S-10. So like a lot of things in life, things aren't going exactly as planned. Alan had some things that held him up today, but he was able to come by, and while he didn't help me get these attached, he did let me know what I have left to do, how I need to go ahead and trim this up so I can fit it, where we want to cut it. What we're going to do and what's going to be done is it's going to be welded along here. I'm going to actually put a plate behind there, do some plug welds, and then plug weld it to this as well. We are going to panel bond it across here. Chances are, if we don't have enough clamps, chances are we're going to run some self-tappers into it to hold it down while it gets panel bonded, and then we'll pull them out, sand it, fill it with some body filler, and it'll be done. And it'll be a lot easier to do that than to spot weld all those and then sand it. Remember, I'm not going for a show car truck. Yes, I do want it to look good. It's going to look very nice. It's just to help me to not have a whole bunch of body work to do. So that's the way it's going to be done. But right now, what I need to do is I need to take some measurements. I need to trim these pieces down. Finish. This is pretty level there. I want to cut a little bit there, and I got some cutting to do over here as well, and I want to get this so it'll fit there, and then I'm also going to do it on the other side. Once they're ready to fit, Alan will come help me when I'm going to do everything else. And I'm not just going to get these ready to fit. I am going to put the pieces there, get those plug welded, and basically get it ready to put on. And then Alan, it won't have to take as much time out of his schedule. He can come over here and then help me get it on, make sure everything's fit in place, and then go ahead and we'll get them attached. Enough blabbing. I've got some pieces to measure and trim down, so let's get it. So it is the next morning. I've already started grinding. getting things ready on this, getting some fitment. I've got it really close. Now, I did make a rookie mistake, and I'm a rookie at doing this, but I actually cut the front end first, lining up the back. Well, that back actually goes back farther, so I cut the front end, and then when I slide the back to meet it, now that it's cut, well, I have about a 1/4 inch gap in the front. So I'm going to put a little plate right here, just like I am over there. I'm gonna do the same thing, just put a little plate here to bond it to, and then I'm gonna have to fill in the gap that's right there. Rookie mistake, but I learned on this side. I'll get the driver's side better, but I really got fitment down. I just need to trim some of this right here and some of this edge right here, and possibly a little more on that edge. Fitment should be down. Once that's good to go, then I can jump on over to the other side, knock that out. I'm not going to do a lot of time lapse of it because it literally is the same thing of just trim fit, trim fit, trim fit, trim fit multiple times. It's better to just rock out. Now, when I put the plugs here and put that plate there, I'm gonna go ahead and record all that. I've got some, I believe 16 gauge, 18 gauge steel right there that I'm gonna use. I'm just gonna cut some strips and make those backing platforms so I can go ahead and plug weld it. It'll be a lot sturdier, a lot safer, a lot more professional. I'll do the same thing at the front. I'll do that on the back side there, but who knows if I'm gonna need to do it on the front over there. I still might do it. Even if it's a good fitment, I still might do it at the front over there, just so if somebody steps on it or something like that, it doesn't break it or anything. I'm just gonna get back at it. There might be some more time lapse here, or you might just jump to me fitting this on and saying, hey, look, this works, and we're going to the driver's side.
2 hours later.
Well, I did it. I got the first one lined up. It's a little ugly. It's a little nice in some spots, but it's a little ugly in some spots. So here it is. This area looks pretty good. I'm gonna need to do the backing plate there and definitely fill it. And then if you look, it's nice and even right there. And my hand is holding it right now just because it's gonna have to be sucked down right there. And then over here, nice and even. And then there is a little gap there. I think I can come down a little bit right here. In this area, this sticks out farther, but there is gonna be a backing plate there. So we'll be able to make sure that that's nice and even because it is fit and it's cut even. It's just that this bend here, as you can see, and this here is not exactly the same as factory, but it is looking good. So now that that's done on the passenger side, I'm gonna hop on over to the driver's side and get started on that. I'll probably do a little bit of time lapse, but I'll probably also make some short form content with it. So do some time lapse in short form content form. That way I have some other content. I showed the passenger side on this. The driver's side isn't gonna be much different. I don't wanna have to have a ton more time lapse in this video. Next thing I wanna show you is putting those backing plates in, but first, I wanna get that driver's side ready. So I'm gonna jump on it.
2 hours later.
Okay, so while it's not all the way on, it's not attached, I should say, it's still lined up pretty well. So except for that gap that I talked about, this fits together nicely. And then this cab corner, fits in here pretty good. Might have a little bit of trimming left to do.
A few moments later.
So that side is pretty much fully done. I have to clean off the back part of the rockers when we're gonna panel bond it. I do need to still do the backing plates, which I'm gonna do that in the next video. I wanna end this video. This could still be a few more days because even after I get the backing plates put in, I do need to wait till Alan has some time available, and it may not be till next weekend. I don't wanna have to wait that long to put out a video, so I'm gonna go ahead and put out this video, giving this look, and in the next one, we'll get them attached. And also in the next one, we'll start tearing down this 5.3 LS. That way we can put new bearings in it, new piston rings in it, and start getting it freshened up and then put back together so it can go in this once it's done. Thank you all for watching this far in the video. I appreciate it. If you want to, don't forget to subscribe. I do have a store with some merch if you want to support the channel. There's a link down in the description. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.